Hi there guys, it's Baxter here from GNC Newcastle, and today we're going to do, it's a little bit more of a fun thing. The past couple of things have been a little bit motivational and stuff like that, but I want to actually let you into some of the kind of the funny things that happen in GNC. We always try to have a good time when we're working, although, you know, we're professional as much as possible. I can't help but love a giggle. So I do giggle quite a lot, and I'd like to make other people giggle. That's part of my job, I think. Customers like that. So some of the questions that we've had are quite funny. Before I got here, actually, before I started working for this company, one of the guys said that he had this really funny question. And he said, he was asked, have you got a cream to rub on your muscles to grow them? Now, there is no such cream, but what they are getting confused with is steroids and steroid cream. Now, steroid cream is for skin conditions, and they think that that's going to grow their muscles because it's got steroids in the name, which is hilarious, absolutely freaking hilarious. I love that quote. But there's more. I've had them, you know. We've had customers in that have actually said that protein makes them angry. Now, when that comes to me, I do kind of burst out in a bit of a uncontrollable giggle. Not girly giggle, but quite a giggle. But protein can't make you angry. I don't know how it would. The whole kind of concept of that is amazing. Like that. Anybody would even think that. I mean, I've never got angry after eating a chicken or eating a bit of fish, something like that. You know, you don't hear stories of people in the newspapers going off on one because they've just had a steak and they just couldn't control their temper. You know, it doesn't really happen. So, but it's still, the questions do come, and they do say things like that. The other question that we get frequently is, do you sell protein? As you can see around me, I'm surrounded by protein right now. And the store is like literally the full store is pretty much protein. And we still get asked that. And it does amuse me, but you know, I try to be as professional as possible and say, yes, we've got this and this and that. But you know, still it amuses me. I still laugh, I can't help it. And then another question that we get quite often, well, I do anyway, do you sell anything that makes you, you know, and they do the fist thing, I don't, like, strong, you know, kind of, basically, do you do anything for better performance in bed? Which is a fairly weird question, because usually it's not from the people that you would expect to hear it from. And when you do get it, there's not much in the store, although it increases some things in here, increase your libido and stuff like that. They're not really going to do what they're expecting. And then they usually say, have you got Viagra? Which is always a no, we don't sell that. And then usually they go further, one step further, and they start asking me if I've had Viagra or if I could get Viagra. And that's where it starts to get really funny for me, because I don't know what to do with that. You know, I've never tried it, never done it, so I don't know. I just do from hearsay, you know. I just give like pointers of possibly, you know, de-stressing and you know, maybe having a good amount of vegetables, good, like, you know, I don't know. It's a tricky one to do. I never really need to think of it, so it's a funny one. But those are some of the questions, but we also have a good little giggle in between ourselves. You know, we do have some fun with the regulars. I know there's one regular that we have. He comes in very often, and I mean talking. But he used to come in very often. But he used to come in very often, and he used to ask things like, you know, how can I get my arms big? And I said, well, train your arms, you know. And then he'd say, but I just want my arms, I don't want big anything else. And I said, well, that's going to look odd. So, but you continually come in and like say, is coffee all right for abs, or you know, can I have milk, and you know, but you'd go out the shop and then come back in to ask that question. So in the end, I kind of decided to have a little game with him, and basically I I said that he couldn't have anything with the letter C in it now to get abs, and so that means no carrots, no cauliflower, no chicken even. The list goes on. Anything starting with C, I told him he couldn't have, and he honestly, truly, like believed it. Totally fell for it. Didn't see that I was playing a prank, and then someone else, the next time he came in, backed me up on that, and it's just carried on. It spiraled a bit out of control, but it was absolutely hilarious. I can't describe how much amusement I get from that. It's sad, and, you know, I am gonna tell him one of these days, but it's just too fucking funny. It is. It's so funny. The other one is what we like to do is, especially me and Kyle, we love to make people say the product's name wrong. So, for instance, like you've got, you know, BCAAs, you know, which are branched chain amino acids. But you usually say BCAAs, but we try to get the customer to say BCAAs. Or, you know, we change the words around a little bit, so they'll come in asking for like a certain product, and we tell them the name back, what they've just asked for, but totally wrong, and then they say, oh yeah, I was looking for that, you know. So it might not amuse most people, but it really does. I mean, small minds are pleased by small things. So, but yeah, I just think that's hilarious, you know. And we always like having a little bit of banter. I mean, you probably see when you come in, you know, we always like can have a laugh at ourselves, and I think that's probably the best way to be in here. You know, you can't have any kind of ego or pride thing. You know, don't get like that. You'll just come up against the know-it-alls, and then you just think, oh, you know, that's, you know, if you don't have that ego, then it's fine. You never get that confrontation there, and they usually think it's great, because then they can massage their ego in here, which is good for us because we get the sale. But yeah, anyway guys, just a little short video showing a little bit of like the funniness that goes on in here. Hopefully you like it. Anyway, I'm Baxter from GNC in Newcastle. Take it easy, guys.